And welcome everybody to the first race of the TNR Icebreakers Online Series, as we are here live from Daytona International Speedway for probably what will be the longest race of the season, 50 laps of racing. Here today, on the point, is going to be Don LaPrade for the start of this race. Alongside of him is Dylan Schwallenberg. Daniel Day makes up row 2 with Anthony McCurry. In row 3 will be Jessica Shelton alongside of Austin Ogo. Row 4 is going to be Corey Williams, and I believe Trek Togger is going to start alongside of him, but Trek apparently is not good on this start here. He was slow getting his car fired. John Garnes going to line up with Luis Hernandez there in row number, I believe that's row 5. Row 6 going to hold Danny Wells and Joshua Collard. Austin LaPlante alongside of Stephen Pollard III. Seth Cole will be alongside of Dylan Poteet. John Cittadino alongside of Zach Buchanan, and there you see Trek bringing up the rear. Not certain what's up with the 60 machine, as here we go. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway here at Daytona. Don LaPrade left all by his lonesome right now as Dylan Schwallenberg, Daniel Day trying to get the outside line going early. Now they'll all tuck back in line and go single file down against that double yellow line in turns 1 and 2. Daniel Day, seeming determined to want to get the high line going, though, was trying to work with Jessica Shelton there. Now the front 6 are all single file. Corey Williams there working with Luis Hernandez. They are in 7th and 8th, trying to work their way up to this lead pack of 6. And now Jessica Shelton gets kicked up to the high side. Now tucks back in line. She's trying to work there with fellow Dodge Austin Ogo. These guys are going to try and test the waters, that outside line early, no doubt about that. Corey Williams gets a nice run around the outside of Anthony McCurry, move him up to the 6th position. Luis Hernandez, his drafting partner, did not seem to quite be able to get around the 61 as well. And he may have to tuck in line behind the 61, but 61's got drafting partner in the 56 of John Garnes. Now they're going to go to the front, goes Dylan Schwallenberg with help from Daniel Day as Don LaPrade's caught on the outside line with no drafting help whatsoever. Move the 03 of Dylan Schwallenberg to the point. Day will move to 2nd. Jessica Shelton looking to take 3rd. Now the outside line starting to work here. Corey Williams and Austin Ogo trying to work with Don LaPrade and try and get an outside groove happening. Right now they're maintaining Don LaPrade side by side with Jessica Shelton. The outside line seems to be working a bit. They got some more help. John Garnes up there and Luis Hernandez seeming to help the outside line at the current moment. Right now it is Dylan Schwallenberg the leader. Daniel Day 2nd. Whoa, one car just blinked. Oh, that was Jessica Shelton. Everybody was able to not get involved in the wreck there. That was close. Shelton now moving up to the high side to help Don LaPrade. Corey Williams, though, left the outside line. He's now going to tuck in behind the Monster Energy, or not, that's not Monster Energy, that's Amp Energy Ford of Anthony McCurry. As still, it is Schwallenberg and Daniel Day 1-2. Those two working well together, and nobody has been able to break up that duo for the past 2 laps. Ogo switches lanes. He'll go down there. Whoa, Joshua Collard. Either he got a little loose or he wasn't expecting the 2 car to switch lanes like that, but he hangs on to it. And now Daniel Day's going to leave his drafting buddy. The 2 car, or not the 2, the 82. Going to go to the bottom of the 03, move Daniel Day to the point. Whoa, Schwallenberg gets loose. He's trying to save it, and I think he may have spun it again. He did. Contact. Jessica Shelton's involved. LaPlante's gotten involved. Luis Hernandez in the 25 involved. And I think John Garnes may have gotten collected. There's more cars spinning. Corey Williams may have some damage on the 73 car. Stephen Pollard III is down here in the infield. And there's the 9 of Jessica Shelton, the 88 of Austin LaPlante. Caution will fly. As we'll watch the race back to the line, side by side between the 2 Miller Lite cars. And Daniel Day will lead the way. Ogo 2nd, McCurry 3rd, Collard 4th, and Don LaPrade 5th. As we are under our first yellow of the day here on lap 5 of 50. Let's look back, see who else may be damaged. There's Jessica Shelton. There's Austin LaPlante. We know he got turned around and spun to the infield. Looks like there could be some right side damage, maybe some hood damage on the 73. Another car in the infield. Oh, that's Stephen Pollard III, and there's smoke up here on the front straightaway. Don't know who that is. There's Schwallenberg's car. He's the car that got out of shape to start that wreck. exactly know what happened to him. Saw him get loose, go up and get the wall, trying to save it, and I think he may have come down into the 9 of Jessica Shelton. There's Zach Buchanan, started way at the back. He's now up in, I believe, the 9th position. But we'll see here, these drivers do have to make at least one stop to be good to go on fuel. They may have to make 2, depending on when they make that one stop. So let's see who's going to decide to come down pit road this time early on in our first race here at Daytona. Looks like they're all looking like they may commit. Joshua Collar doesn't look like he's planning on coming down, though. Some guys may be faking it here. Oh, the leader Daniel Day faked it. So did Anthony McCurry. So Ogo, Dunlaprad, Garnes, Poteet, Luis Hernandez, Buchanan, Schwallenberg, Cole, Corey Williams, Austin LaPlante, Stephen Pollard III, and probably without doubt Jessica Shelton, all coming down pit road under this caution flag. So Daniel Day will be the leader under the caution flag, and probably when we get back to the restart, let's jump back, look at a replay of what put us under the yellow for the first time here today at Daytona. This was heading into turn number 1. Dylan Schwallenberg had just been kicked to the high side as the duo of the 82 and the 61 were underneath him. Oh, wow. Almost, there was like some contact right there between McCurry and Schwallenberg. They touched it 2 times. Schwallenberg, then gets a little tap in, I think, the left rear by the 83 of Dunlaprad. Here he's still squirrely, still trying to save it. And finally he comes down the racetrack and Jessica Shelton has nowhere to go. John Garnes in the 56, he does get a piece of it there. Whoa, 9 car almost flipped over. And then I think you're going to see, LaPlante tried going through this. And then he caught the apron. He comes up and collects the 25. And that's how Luis Hernandez and Austin LaPlante get involved. LaPlante tried to go down to the apron to get by. Carried too much speed, caught the apron, and then shot back up the racetrack in front of Luis Hernandez. Oh, and then Jessica Shelton then gets into the back of the Austin LaPlante machine. It's a big plume of smoke there, nobody being able to see where they have to go. And let's look back here. Okay, yeah, Corey Williams. I was wondering if Corey and Steven got involved, and apparently not. They just ended up slowing way, way down. Corey actually went way down towards the inside wall to be able to avoid these cars that had spun down into the infield. And so he splits the Austin LaPlante machine and the Jessica Shelton machine. And it looks like that is what put us under the caution for the first time today. Let's take another camera angle. Okay, we're trying to determine here whether Schwallenberg came down or whether McCurry came up. And we'll watch here as they head into turn 1. Watch the 61 of McCurry. McCurry gets the apron. He got 2 tires down on that dotted, not dotted, but the double yellow line. Shoots up into Schwallenberg. So that was the 61's fault. Schwallenberg does a great job trying to save it. He might have had it saved there, but then he gets that little tap from behind by the 83 of LaPrade, and that just basically was all she wrote. Then Schwallenberg has no way of being able to hang on to it. He nearly had that saved, but circumstances just not working out. And there you see Shelton, Garnes, nowhere for these guys to go. Shelton goes up, gets a pretty hard pounding into the safer barrier, and there you saw right there LaPlante coming off of the apron, collects the 25. So that was the Anthony McCurry machine, the 61, that caused that wreck. Got down on the apron, and then when he came back up, the car slid up the track on him and hit the 03 of Schwallenberg. So that is what happened. Let's take an onboard with the Rockstar Ford of Dylan Schwallenberg. Here's a look at what Schwallenberg saw. Watch it turn 1 as he almost has it saved and then gets the little tap from behind to end up having this caution happen. Break there for Dylan Schwallenberg, who was leading a majority of the beginning of this race and ends up being involved in their first caution of the day. Getting ready to go back to green. We've received word we've already got a retiree from this race. Danny Wells, under that green flag run, his engine expired. For some reason, we're trying to get word on what exactly happened, but apparently we didn't see it. The 31 car did not get to come around and complete the first lap of the event because he ended up having something break in his number 31 machine. So a tough break there for Danny Wells. And that 31 team, they will not be able to finish today's race. They have DNF'd already. Gone behind the wall. Daniel Day will line up as the leader here. Second place is going to be Trek Togger. Third will be Joshua Collard. Fourth is John Cittadino. Fifth place is Austin Ogo. Sixth will be Zach Buchanan. John Garnes will be in 7th. 8th, Don LaPrade. Dylan Poteet will be in 9th with Austin LaPlante in 10th. Jessica Shelton's in 11th. Dylan Schwallenberg is in 12th. 13th, Luis Hernandez. Anthony McCurry, after being the cause of that wreck, he has moved to the back. He will restart in 14th. 15th is Seth Cole. 16th is Corey Williams. And 17th will be Stephen Pollard III. So here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Daniel Day getting ready to get us back underway, and the green flag is back out. Whoa, John Cittadino was not good on that start there. Zach Buchanan making it 3 wide. They're 4 wide there as Ogo almost went underneath of Collard. Now they settle it back out to 3 wide. I think Cittadino's trying to fall back, trying to find a way to get out of these other guys' way. As right now it is Daniel Day and Trek Togger out in front. Zach Buchanan's moved to 3rd, Collard to 4th, and Ogo into 5th. There is Cittadino, and I believe Cittadino's actually moving towards the inside. Well, I thought he was moving towards the inside. Yes, he is. He's going to let these guys by now. He seems to be holding them up just a little bit. Now everybody's going to get around him. Now he'll bring it back up and merge back with traffic. We're also getting a report. Oh, wow, he just disappeared. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Corey Williams. That he, at this point, has no 3rd gear. Apparently something happened on that last caution or under that last pit stops. Whatever the case, he has no 3rd gear in that 73 car right now. So he is having to rely on drafting partners to keep him with the lead pack on these restarts. So a tough break there for Corey Williams. He still is there at the tail end of this pack. He has not lost the draft, but certainly not the kind of thing that Corey Williams needed here in this event. Is right now Daniel Day seems to have a bit of a drafting partner up here in Trek Togger. Those two have been working together since we got back onto the restart. Zach Buchanan there in 3rd. Whoa, Collard! Collard going way down, getting the apron, and now brings it back up. But man, oh man, did that car get loose. He hangs on to it, though, but he lost that pack of 4 ahead of him. Now he's about to get caught by another pack of 4. Austin LaPlante, Don LaPrade, Dylan Poteet, John Garnes, and Anthony McCurry catching up to that pack as well. And they're not going to work with the 43. They're going to go to the inside of him. So Collard getting freight trained now after he nearly wrecked it in that corner. Meanwhile, up front, still Daniel Day, the leader. Daniel did not come down pit road under our first caution. So if caution comes out at some point, he's going to have to pit. These drivers do have to pit at least once to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. Ooh, Trek Togger testing the waters there on the high side, and it looks like Buchanan and Ogo may be willing to go with him. Well, nope, Buchanan now crosses over. Stick Trek Togger in the high line, and now it's going to be Zach Buchanan going for 2nd, drafting help there from Austin Ogo. And look at how quickly these 4 got caught by that group of 6 or 7. Here comes LaPlante, here comes LaPrade, Poteet, Garnes, McCrory, and Collard back. We got now an 11-car pack. And they're going to freight train the Trek Togger machine. Togger is friendless on that outside line at the current moment, as there's a long snake of 10 cars on that inside line. And now it looks like Austin LaPlante's going to get moved to the high side there. Remember, LaPlante ended up getting some damage in that first incident when he spun around with Luis Hernandez. Whoa, Daniel Day cutting the track a little bit there. But LaPlante apparently seems to be up to speed still. These 11 all up here in a big pack. Then you got a few stragglers back here. Seth Cole, Luis Hernandez, Jessica Shelton's back here. There's John Cittadino. Oh, we got a wreck! Corey Williams and Stephen Pollard III. Something happened to them. I think the caution is out. It is indeed. 2nd caution of the day. 2-car incident, it appears. The 81 and the 73. As they will race it back to the line. There you see the skid marks and smoke in turn 3. And the 2 cars that were slow leaving the scene of that area were the 73 of Corey Williams and the 81 of Stephen Pollard III. So the cars will come down here, receive our 2nd yellow of the day. This is going to be good news for Daniel Day. as he is going to be the leader here. Don LaPrade second. I think Poteet was third with Buchanan, and then I don't know who between John Garnes and Austin Ogo got the 5th position. Looks like it was Ogo on the high side. Corey Williams, I believe, just made a pit stop, and I think Stephen Pollard III may have just done the same, as they are repairing their machines after whatever incident it was that happened here. We'll jump back, look at a replay of what happened to the two of them in just a moment. We know that Corey Williams was up there at the tail end of that second pack with Seth Cole and Luis Hernandez. Stephen Pollard III might have actually been doing the same. And we'll have to find out what exactly happened in just a moment. But we'll see here now if Daniel Day, who did not come to pit road under the first caution, if he's going to come this time. We're now on lap 12 of 50. That gives us 39 to go. Don't really know what the pit window is here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the pit window is 30 laps with 2 tanks of fuel. Well, Daniel Day looking like he's indicating he's coming to pit road. Last time, though, he faked it back onto the racetrack. Let's see if this time he's legitimately going to commit to pit road. Looks like he is. He's coming down. LaPrade's coming. Poteet, Buchanan. I don't think there's anybody staying out. Ogo, Garnes, LaPlante, McCrory, Togger, Collard, Cole, Hernandez. They're creeping onto pit road. There's Citadino, Jessica Shelton. They're all coming. Corey Williams just finished up another pit stop to repair his machine. And I believe Stephen Pollard III is still on pit road. Yes, he is. Let's watch Daniel Day coming off pit road. Whoa! Dylan Poteet nearly beat the 82 off pit road, and Zach Buchanan wasn't too far behind, but Daniel Day is going to win the battle off of pit road. The 22 comes out second, then the 4, the 56, and the 48. So everybody came down and made pit stops this time, maybe expecting to go the rest of the way on fuel. You never know. Let's jump back now, take a look at a replay of what happened pushed under the caution for the second time here today. And before we do that, we're jumping back here to a replay of lap 1 to try and see if we can find out what happened to Danny Wells, because he is out of the race and we really need to find out what exactly happened to him. Maybe we can pinpoint it here. I was heading right here into turn number 1, I believe. He's drafting with John Garnes. Nothing seems to be amiss. Gets the apron a little bit there, and boy, and then the engine just explodes. I don't know what happened to that number 31 machine, but something did, and that is a tough break for Danny. Right there on the very first turn of the very first lap, the engine expires on his Mountain Dew Pitch Black Chevrolet. That is a tough break. We're still trying to get word on just exactly what happened. It's obviously some mechanical problem, but we'd like to know specifically what it is. But that is what happened to Danny Wells. Now let's take a look at the incident that actually did bring out the caution between Corey Williams and Stephen Pollard III. This was on the back straightaway heading into turn number 3. Seth Cole, Luis Hernandez, Corey Williams had a 3-car line go in there. And Stephen, boy, he just comes down into the right rear of the 73, turns him up into the wall. I don't know if maybe Stephen thought he was clear on the 73 and he was going to tuck in line and make it a 4-car line or what, but Corey just gets flat out turned into the safer barrier. And then Pollard spins it down to the infield. Nice job there by Jessica Shelton to go through the middle in order to avoid this, but see if we can get another camera angle and try and see just exactly what Stephen was trying to do. Looking here from the spectator's cam, and Pollard, he comes down. We'll have to look at this from the helicopter view just to see just exactly how clear the 81 and the 73 were of each other. But boy, that is a tough break there for Corey. We already documented the fact that he has no third gear for restarts. So the last thing he wanted to see was a caution flag, and he ends up being the caution with the 81. Let's take a look at the helicopter view. That'll probably tell us a little bit better just exactly what Stephen was trying to do, if he was trying to tuck in line or not. Looking at it here, let's watch the 81. Yeah, I think Stephen thought he had him cleared, and he just hooked the right rear of the 73's bumper. I mean, that's obviously a really tough break, but I think that was just a race incident. I think Stephen thought he was clear. His spotter probably told him he was clear, and it just was just the tiniest little bit not clear, and contact was made. We're lucky that it was an incident near the rear of the field that only involved 2 cars Both cars didn't appear to sustain that much damage, but obviously that's going to be a tough break for Corey Williams if he's able to continue with the fact he has no third gear on this restart. But that is what brought us under the caution flag for the second time today. Let's head back now for the restart. We'll get back to green flag racing here on lap 40 of 50. Daniel Day is the leader, Poteet in second, Buchanan third, John Garnes fourth, fifth Austin LaPlante, sixth is Austin Ogo, Don LaPrade seventh, Anthony McCurry eighth, Trek Togger is ninth, and Jessica Shelton is in 10th, and it's Collard in 11th, Seth Cole 12th. 13th place will be Luis Hernandez, 14th John Cittadino, 15th Stephen Pollard III, and Corey Williams will be in 16th place. As the green flag is back out, we have another driver that has gone behind the wall, and that apparently was the 03 of Dylan Schwallenberg. Now remember, he got involved in that incident back, I think it was on lap 4 or 5, and he has taken his car behind the wall. Too much damage on the 03 machine, so tough break there. We've already had 2 retirees from today's event. Danny Wells was the first one. He retired back on lap 1 after an engine problem, which I believe we've been told is a valve problem. And now Dylan Schwallenberg has retired from the race as well. As Daniel Day out in front. He's been out in front quite a bit here today. He has not really fallen way back into the 6th, 7th, 8th positions. He has been sticking his car at the front of the field or working with the leader. So Daniel Day's got a strong car, and he's doing a good job keeping it out in that clean air. Dylan Poteet is now his new drafting buddy. Daniel Day's had a lot of drafting buddies here today. He had Trek Togger for a while. And Poteet seems committed to the back bumper of that 82 car. How about Austin LaPlante? Nice comeback for him right here as he ended up spinning around under our first caution flag, and right now having a good run in the 3rd position. He's got Don LaPrade right behind him. There's Anthony McCurry too. Remember, he ended up making that contact there with Dylan Schwallenberg. They sent him to the tail end of the longest line for causing that wreck. And now he's worked his way back up. He's up in the 5th position with Zach Buchanan right behind him. John Garnes, he's still up here in this lead pack. Trek Togger up here as well. And there's Austin Ogo bringing up the rear of this 9-car pack. A couple of stragglers still back here. Jessica Shelton, Joshua Collard, Luis Hernandez. As a matter of fact, they're telling me that Seth Cole's way back here because he ended up missing a gear on that start. And of course, we know about Corey Williams having no 3rd gear. That's why he's way back here. John Cittadino, there he is with these guys as well. He may have fallen back to be able to offer these guys some help and maybe have them form a 3-car pack and work their way up towards the front. Maybe join up there with Luis Hernandez and Jessica Shelton and Joshua Collard, a couple of those other stragglers. And there's Stephen Pollard III still on track. No hood on that 81. Oh, so we got a battle for the lead here. Dylan Poteet's going to lead a lap on the high side with help from Don LaPrade. So they got the outside line going, at least for now. And Poteet, oh, I thought he might have been clear on Daniel Day, but not yet. Here comes the inside line back. Anthony McCurry now the drafting partner for Daniel Day. I think we should call Daniel the man of many drafting partners. He's had Trek Togger drafting with him. He now has Anthony McCurry. He had Poteet. He got friends all over the place. Everybody wants to draft with the leader. Dead even down the back straightaway between the 82 and the 22. Nobody giving an inch here. Let's see which line's going to get the advantage coming to the start-finish line this time. Last time it was the outside line. Let's see if they can get the run off this corner. Well, now it looks like there's only 3 drivers making the outside line work. Poteet, Don LaPrade, and John Garnes. It's basically 3 against 5. Now it's 4 against 4 as Trek Togger moves up to the high line. I think you're going to need a little bit more help than that. Wait a minute, Poteet's starting to run back up towards the front here. He's side by side with 2nd place Anthony McCurry. Can they get a big run down the back straightaway? They got to stay tucked up in line. Looks like they are, but now it's 3 against 5 again. 3 against 6 now as LaPlante catches back up to the tail end of this draft. But Poteet and LaPrade and Garnes, they're making it work. McCurry, though, whoa! He got loose and nearly almost got stuck in the middle. And Daniel Day tries to move up to block that outside line as it advances. He knows that outside line is working, and I think Poteet now is coming alongside again. Nearly got another lap led there as he got a huge run through the tri-oval. That outside line gets a lot of speed, especially coming out of 4. And now they're starting to break up there. Whoa, McCurry gets loose again, nearly gets up into Dunlaprad. And they are dead even right now. Outside line, inside line. The outside line's got to hope that Austin LaPlante and Trek Togger stay with them. It would be 5 against 4, outside line against inside line. Let's see if they can get a big run coming here out of turn number 4. As Poteet is still side by side. Well, no, he's losing a little bit of ground now. And Daniel Day's coming up to block. Whoa, Poteet moves up a little higher. McCrory thinks about making it 3 wide. He's trying to stick it underneath. Whoa, gets the apron and nearly loses it again. Now McCrory gets into the middle, and look out, Zach Buchanan going down to the inside. Actually, I think Buchanan's dropping back. I don't know what that was about. He gave up positions. Beneath the double yellow line, Zach Buchanan giving up where he was, which I believe was at the time the 5th position. And now he'll try and catch back up here to this draft. Don't know what happened to the 4. And look at this. Dylan Poteet, outside line. He and Dunlaprad make it work. Move the 22 to the lead. Ooh, 83 is trying to tuck in line. He does. The 22 and the 83 made the outside line work. Dylan Poteet to the point. LaPrade to second. Daniel Day, who's been dominating this race, he falls back to 3rd place now with McCrory in 4th. Nice job getting that outside line working here as we're nearing the midway point of this race. Zach Buchanan, we're getting word he ended up lagging for a moment there, so he dropped down to the apron so that way these guys wouldn't end up getting involved in a wreck. And now Dunlaprad, who worked for so long with Dylan Pote to get that outside line working, well, looks like that alliance is over. He moves the inside line. Daniel Day now moves to the outside to work with the 22. McCrory going to work with Dunlaprad on the inside line. Whoa, Trek Togger was caught in the middle, now slides up behind the 82. To offer his assistance on the high line. It's 4 against 4, inside line against outside line. If Zach Buchanan can catch up here, it'll be interesting to see where his alliance goes to see which line moves. Whoa, Garnes, I think, got a bit of the apron there. He nearly lost it, but he hangs on to it. As these guys continue to battle for the lead, I'd love to look back and see what's going on with the stragglers back there, but this is just too good to miss. These guys racing tooth and nail up here at the front, racing hard but clean. Right now, Dylan Poteet and Dunlaprad still side by side. Daniel Day working with the guy who was working against him on the high line just moments ago. As they're trying to get around Dunlaprad. Oh, there's a wreck back there. Oh, one car is flipped. LaPlante was involved in that one. I don't know who the other one was. They're going to race it back down here to the line. Let's see which line's going to get that. Outside line or inside line. LaPrade or Poteet. And, oh, it's close, and Dylan Poteet on the high side just barely beats LaPrade to the stripe. What a move. It looks like Austin Ogo and Austin LaPlante. They are the two that are involved here to bring us under a 3rd caution. Let's jump back and see what happened to him. Well, it looks like we may have another incident, just like the Corey Williams-Stephen Pollard, the 3rd incident a while back. Right there, I think Austin LaPlante thought he was clear on the 2 of Austin Ogo. Tries to tuck in line, and he was not clear, and Zach Buchanan's going to get involved. Whoa, Ogo's car actually flips over onto his roof. That's how he had that hood damage coming out of 4 that I saw. And LaPlante's going to spin it around as well. He goes back up the banking, hits the safer barrier, and then brings it back down to the apron as well. So it looks like a 3-car incident there. I think we're going to have to look again with our helicopter view. See if indeed Austin LaPlante thought he was clear on the Blue Deuce. Here it was, coming down the back straightaway into turn 3. Watch the 48. He's going to come down, and I think he thought he was going to tuck right in behind the 2. Exactly the same kind of thing we saw happen with the 81 and the 73. And, oh man, Buchanan didn't have really anywhere to go. He was able to drive away. He didn't spin his car around, but brings his car down to the apron there just in case he's slower, because there were some other cars, some stragglers back here that are going to come into view that apparently did get through the incident. We fortunately got away with only 3 cars involved in this one, but again, a bit of problem with drivers not knowing if they're clear on the car in front of them or not, and that's what happened to Austin Ogo and Austin LaPlante to put us under the caution here, just nearing the midway point in today's event. Here on lap 23, pit stops the order of the day. Dylan Poteet and Dunlaprad, they give up 1st and 2nd to come down and pit. Daniel Day has stayed out, so we'll watch the stop here on the 22 in just a minute here, see what they're going to do. They're going to go at least with right side tires on the Caterpillar Dodge. And let's see if they go with a 4-tire stop. Yeah, they're going with a full 4-tire stop there. Seth Cole seeming to stop. I think he was waiting in case the 22 had to get out. Now he pulls into his pit stall. Actually, he missed his pit stall. Stephen Pollard III coming down there. LaPlante's on pit road. Hernandez, Togger, Corey Williams on pit road. Believe Zach Buchanan was on pit road as well as Trek Togger. As Dunlaprad was the first one off of pit road. Some drivers decided to stay out as it looks like they're going to form up here and get ready to go green this time around. Daniel Day stayed out. He'll be the leader. McCrory will start to his outside in second. John Garnes third. Buchanan did not come to pit road, so I was wrong on that information. He'll start in fourth. Collard in fifth and John Cittadino in sixth. Those 6 drivers decided not to come down pit road under this caution flag. So that means that Dunlaprad will be 7th. Poteet will be in 8th. 9th will be Trek Togger with Luis Hernandez in 10th. 11th will be Shelton. Seth Cole 12th. Ogo 13th. 14th Corey Williams. 15th place will be Austin LaPlante. And currently on pit road in 16th is Stephen Pollard III. So we're getting ready to go back to green here. Daniel Day, who's been out in front for a majority of this race, ended up having trouble with that outside line coming up and bypassing him. Now rolls the dice, decides not to pit, and he will restart as the leader. A couple of drivers have not yet caught up to the rear of this pack. They may actually wave off the green flag this time. And it looks like that will be the case. We will not go green this time. We'll go green next time. So let's take a look at some of these drivers here who have encountered some problems and where they're currently running at the moment. How about John Cittadino? Interesting strategy to decide to stay out this time and restart in the 6th position. Cittadino's been running near the back of the pack for most of this race. And right now, he is going to be starting up just outside the top 5. And we remember on that last restart, Cittadino did not get a good jump, and everybody almost went 4 wide behind him. Hopefully we'll see if the Expedex Chevy will be able to get through the gears quickly enough and be able to get a good restart this time and not hold up everybody else behind him. Now, I don't know what kind of strategy the 83 went with. We know Dylan Poteet went with 4 tires. But Dunlaprad, we don't know just exactly what he went with for a strategy. He exited pit road quite a ways ahead of Dylan Poteet. There was really no battle off pit road. But Dunlaprad, Dylan Poteet, remember those two worked together to get that outside line working? They're going to have to start side by side here on this restart. So it'll be interesting to see just exactly what new partners they're going to be able to hook up with. Move up to the front here, though. Daniel Day is the leader. So far, we've only had 2 retirees. One driver, Stephen Pollard III, is currently sitting on pit road, letting them work on that race car. He has not returned to the track as of yet. The 2 drivers currently out of the race, Dylan Schwallenberg and Danny Wells. So out of the 18 drivers that took the green flag to start this race, 15 of them are still running on the racetrack, and 1 of them is currently on pit road. And you see Corey Williams back there. He's a ways back. I think he's actually hanging back on purpose so that way he'll be able to jump the start in 4th gear and not have to rely switching from 2nd to 4th since he has no 3rd gear. As the green flag is back out, we're racing here again at Daytona. Oh, and John Cittadino did not get a good start again. That time he, I think, tried moving out of the way of Dylan Poteet. Well, maybe not. No, he's actually able to tuck in line. And now Poteet shifts lanes. He'll go down to the inside line. They kind of broke up here at the front of the field. Daniel Day going to get away. John Garnes there side by side for second with Anthony McCurry, but he needs some drafting partner coming up here. Oh, 9 car just peeled off onto the apron. That's Jessica Shelton. I think she purposely did that. The 9 car, I believe, is damaged and off the pace, and she let the faster cars go on by. Right now, John Garnes, he did get by Anthony McCurry. Now they're single file between the top 5, side by side for the 6th position. Trek Togger drafting help from Dylan Poteet with Zach Buchanan. Whoa, rubbing doors there, the 60 and the 4. Nearly making some contact, but they keep it together, and we're still green. Daniel Day has been out in front for a majority of this race, and he's back out there again. See what John Garnes, Anthony McCurry may be able to do with him. Will they work together against the 82? Right now, though, Joshua Collard getting bypassed by Dunn LaPrade. That's for 4th. He's going to try and squeeze in front of Zach Buchanan, who's got a big run into 3, being pushed by Dylan Poteet. But they did let the 43 in, and now here comes Dunn LaPrade. He's continuing to march his way to the front. Now going to bypass Anthony McCurry. Collard gets loose again. This time Buchanan is going to take the advantage of that door that was opened for him, and he's going to go to the inside of the 43. Poteet seems to be working with Buchanan right now. Dunn LaPrade seems to be working by himself. He's bypassed Collard. He's bypassed McCurry. He's marching to the front. Right now, top 3 are single file. Wait a minute. Garnes moves up. He's trying to help Anthony McCurry in that outside line do something. Dunn LaPrade's going to stay on the inside line, and here comes the duo of Buchanan and Poteet. Those two have been glued to each other since we got under this restart. And Daniel Day's got no drafting partner right now. About a car length between himself and Dunn LaPrade. Now LaPrade closes up the gap. Poteet thought about trying to help that outside line, but now tucks back in line behind Buchanan. And one car there warped badly. I couldn't tell which one it was. It might have been the Trek Togger machine, but everything's clear. Whoa, 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 what was that? Don't know what that was, but now the outside line is working again. Dunn LaPrade with help from Zach Buchanan. They're going to get around Daniel Day. That outside line seems to be the Achilles heel for the 82. Daniel Day's got a strong car on the inside, but he does not seem to be able to hold off that outside line once it gets going. Daniel Day now with Dylan Poteet drafting him up high. It's Dunn LaPrade with drafting help from Buchanan, Garnes, and McCurry. How about Luis Hernandez there in the 25? What a nice run he's having. He was running back with the stragglers at the beginning half of this race, but now he's up in this lead pack. He's currently running in the 8th position. Nice run there for the 25. Don't count him out. He's known in these online races as one of those sleepers. You don't see him up at the front until the very end. Because we got 21 laps to go here in this event, and Hernandez could be one to watch. Poteet got turned! McCurry involved! There goes Collard. Hernandez is involved as well. So is Trek Togger, and look out, stragglers, watch it. Seth Cole gets through, Corey Williams gets through, LaPlante gets through. There is McCurry's machine. Caution flag will wave just when we were having a real good run there. Somebody made some kind of contact, and it was right up here in this lead pack. Move up here to the front. Dunn LaPrade is the leader. Buchanan side by side with Daniel Day, and then it's John Garnes in 4th. These guys all by their lonesome. There's Trek Togger. He got a piece of that incident, but he's in 5th. As Dunn LaPrade's going to lead us down to yet another caution flag. We are under the yellow. Let's see who else was involved in that one. There's Hernandez. We were just talking about him. He got a piece of that. He was right in the middle of it. Nowhere for the 25 car to go. There's McCurry's machine. Jessica Shelton, I believe, got through it. Corey got through it. Austin LaPlante got through it. There's Dylan Poteet. His car actually went end over end, actually flipped over onto its roof. He was able to drive away. And I believe there was one other driver involved. I think it was that guy, Joshua Collard. But apparently he and Trek Togger were both able to drive away from it pretty well. And I'm looking, it looks like there is some front end damage on the Cheerios Betty Crocker Dodge. Trek Togger, I don't know how bad the damage is on his 60 machine. Pit road will be open this time, so we'll see if anybody's going to come down pit road here, get some fresh rubber. We'll be restarting with less than 20 to go here. And will any of these drivers, any of these leaders up at the front, will they give up valuable track position to come down and pit? I don't really think so, but we'll have to see here as they come out of 4. Zach Buchanan making the indication he may be coming for pit road. There's Joshua Collard. We know he's damaged, so he's coming. See if anybody else decides to come down pit road here. No indication by Dunn LaPrade. Daniel Day. Whoa, Daniel. Oh, Daniel Day. Whoa. He just spun it heading down to pit road. What was that? The 82 was giving up the 2nd position. He made a last-minute decision to come down and pit. And I think he got the pit wall entering pit lane. I don't know how hard he hit it. We weren't able to get our camera on it quick enough. But that, boy, I don't know what to think on that one. It was like a last-minute decision for the 82 to come down pit road. They're going to go with, it looks like a 4-tire stop, maybe. Maybe 2. Nope, they're going around to the left. They're going to go with a 4-tire stop. I'm not certain what was going on there with Daniel Day. We'll try and find out. Maybe there was some communication problem, but caution flag is out. Trek Togger appears to be letting everybody go, so that may be an indication that he's going to be starting at the tail end of the line with him causing this caution. We'll find out in a minute. So let's take a look at what put us under the yellow once again here at Daytona. Well, this happened heading into turn 1. Watch the 22 on the inside line there. Well, he just snaps to the right. And Trek Togger was behind him, so I don't know if maybe Trek got into the 22 or not. Pote flipping on his roof. McCrory almost goes on his roof. Collared hard into the outside retaining wall there. Luis Hernandez is going to go around as well. Oh man, McCrory airborne when he hit the wall. There you see Collard. He was able to continue. Togger was able to get away. Poteet goes back up to the high side to avoid the 61. And somewhere back here is the 25 of Luis Hernandez. There he is. Both Corey Williams and Austin LaPlante splitting the 25. Looks like he'll be able to continue as well. There's Citadino coming into it. Austin Ogo. They're going to get through it. And that's what happened. Let's see if we can get a better angle of just exactly how this incident started. Well, looking here, and boy, you know, I don't know if Togger turned the 22 or if the 22 came up across the nose of the 60. That was really, really close. Whatever the case, the 60 had his nose right up to the rear bumper of the 22. Look at McCurry's car. Both front wheels were off the ground at that moment. And then both left side wheels, and when he goes up to hit the outside retaining wall in turn 1. So it looks like 5 cars were involved in this one. The 43, the 60, 61, 22, and 25. And all 5 of those drivers are driving up there in that lead pack. Don't know how significant the damage is on them. We'll find out in just a moment. Let's take a look now at the incident with Daniel Day coming to pit road. Alright, this was coming out of turn number 4. Daniel Day making no indication to come to pit road whatsoever. Everybody else behind him looks like they're going to. I think the 56 then decides, no, I'm not coming, so he's going to come back onto the racetrack. Daniel Day, last minute, there he comes. And, oh boy, he must have just turned that car way too hard, and he's going to slide down, and into the safer barrier goes the 82. Fortunate thing for him was that he was able to drive around that commitment cone right there and cross the commitment line, because I believe if he had passed the cone on the left side, it would have probably penalized him because he would not have crossed the commitment line. So Daniel Day, very fortunate he was able to get around the cone and cross the line in order to be able to come down and make a pit stop. But it looks like a last-minute decision. I don't know if that was on the part of the driver or the crew chief, but it could have maybe very well cost the 82 a chance at this win. I don't know. I don't know how hard a hit that right front took into the safer barrier. But a little bit of a pit road mix-up there for that 82 team, and it could cost Daniel Day here in today's event. Let's head back now for the restart. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Drivers there at the tail end of the field trying to get themselves into where their starting positions are. We actually have word that another driver has retired from this race, and that is the 61 of Anthony McCurry. Now, it's not due to the wreck that he was involved in. Apparently, over, I believe it was in turn 1, when he entered into that corner, he must have missed a gear or something. All of a sudden, smoke erupted out of the back bumper of his Amp Energy Ford, and he has taken his 61 behind the wall. So a tough break there for Anthony McCurry. He will not be around for the finish of this race. John LaPrade gets ready to put us back under green. John Garnes starts to his outside. Then it's Zach Buchanan, Seth Cole, and Austin LaPlante was the top 5. And look at John Citadino. Apparently, they did not get going on that restart. I think it was LaPrade ended up not getting going. Buchanan was into the back of him, and Citadino had no choice but to go down to the inside and try and make it 3 wide. So now John Garnes moves into the lead. Seth Cole battling side by side with Dylan Poteet now for second. Cole's got drafting help in the form of Dun LaPrade. Up high, it's Zach Buchanan working with Dylan Poteet. We've seen those two work together today before. Garnes left with nobody out there. This pack's going to catch him pretty quickly. He'll be the proverbial sitting duck. He's got to do a lot of mirror driving here once they get up to his back bumper. As they come out of turn number 4, They'll hit the stripe, 16 to go. Garnes the leader, Seth Cole right behind him. Poteet trying to get the outside line going again. He's got some friends. Whoa, Seth Cole moves up there to try and help the outside line, it looked like. And he's going to be up there. So it's Seth Cole, Poteet, Buchanan, LaPlante, and Luis Hernandez trying to get that outside line going. Dunlap-Pratt, power move to the inside, completely bypasses the 52 all by his lonesome. That 83 is strong. Right now, John Garnes leading the way. First time that he's been out in front today, actually. And it was that botched up restart that really helped him to be able to keep that lead. And oh, there's a wreck! Oh, LaPlante has spun it! LaPlante has spun, and I think he may have had some contact with the 25 of Luis Hernandez. They'll come down to the stripe. Garnes with no drafting help. LaPrade around on the outside. LaPrade's going to lead us under yet another caution. Oh, Seth Cole gets the wall off that corner. But the caution flag is waving once again, and again it's for the 48 of Austin LaPlante. There he is, just now exiting out of 4. He got together with a red car, and I think it was the 25. Hernandez has been involved in quite a bit today. So too has there's Stephen Pollard III sitting in the infield. But LaPlante has been involved in quite a bit here today as well. There's the 25. Pretty certain he was the red car involved. It might have been the 9 of Jessica Shelton, but I don't think so. So the caution flag is out once again. And it's with less than 15 laps to go in today's event. We'll jump back, take a look at a replay of what happened, but these drivers may end up coming down pit road again this time. You never know. You may see the 25 and the 48 on pit road. The question is, who will join them? I think we got away with a 2-car incident once again. I'm not certain. We'll find out when we look back at the replay. Let's see if Dunlap-Pratt's going to come to pit road. I'm not really sure if Dunlap-Pratt is good out in front by himself, but I could tell you he's pretty doggone good when he's back in traffic. He worked his way up through the field really well on that last restart after he spun the tires or didn't time the restart correctly, one or the other. Oh, look at this little cat and mouse. John Garnes, Zach Buchanan, all indicating they're coming, and then they change their minds. And here comes some drivers pit road. Luis Hernandez is coming, Corey Williams, and Austin LaPlante, all going to come down pit road. 2 of those cars coming down to repair damage. Corey Williams, I think, just trying to get the fresh rubber as he's been starting near the tail end of the field every restart. And there's Stephen Pollard still sitting in the infield. So Dunlap-Pratt's the leader under yet another caution flag. Let's look back at a replay of what happened this time. This was heading into 3 and coming out of 4. Austin LaPlante in the 48. Oh, he just snapped loose by himself. I don't think anybody made any contact with him. And, oh man, Hernandez caught on the high side. Actually, well, I don't know. Did Hernandez make any contact with the 48? He may have actually made it through that. If he did, wow. But LaPlante just seemed to lose it all by himself. And there you see him riding the wrong direction up against the outside safer barrier. Let's get another camera angle, because I don't think the 25 made any contact with the 48 before or after the 48 snapped loose. Watching here from the spectator cam. Watch here. The 25 is nowhere near the back bumper of the 48. 48 just plain loses it. Now watch the 25. Okay, I think he does make some contact right there. But then look right there. Wow. Nearly gets the whiplash effect coming off of the rear deck lid of the 48, and does a good job of avoiding it. Nicely done by Luis Hernandez. Now, he did get some damage there. He ran into the driver's side door of the 48. But aside from that, I guess we could call it a single-car incident, but Luis did get some contact in that. So a 2-car incident, I guess we'll call it. Right in the middle of turns 3 and 4, puts us under the caution. For yet another time. I've lost track of how many cautions we've had here today. But the yellow flag is out once more. Let's head back now for the restart. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's give you a full field rundown of where everybody is. Dunlap-Pratt is the leader. John Garnes is in 2nd. Zach Buchanan 3rd. Seth Cole in 4th. Dylan Poteet's 5th with Joshua Collard 6th. 7th place is Trek Togger. Jessica Shelton is in 8th. 9th is Daniel Day. 10th place will be Austin Ogo. John Cittadino is 11th. Corey Williams is coming up here. He's in 12th. 13th is Austin LaPlante, just made a pit stop. 14th place, Luis Hernandez. He just made a pit stop as well. And then we have Anthony McCurry scored in 15th. Stephen Pollard III is currently scored in 16th. Dylan Schwallenberg is 17th, and Danny Wells is in 18th. 3 cars out of the race, McCurry, Schwallenberg, and Danny Wells. 1 driver still in, Stephen Pollard III. However, his car is currently sitting in the infield. So here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. None of these drivers up at the front decided to come down pit road under that last caution flag. So they're all basically on the same pages. Here we go, getting ready to go green. Green flag back out here at Daytona. And we have 13 laps to go in this event. Now we know how good Don LaPrade is when his car's in traffic. Let's see how he does when he's showing the way. Zach Buchanan there in 3rd. You can bet he's looking in his rearview mirror hoping to see the 22 coming up, because those two, Zach Buchanan and Dylan Poteet, they have been working together all day long. And Zach's going to try a crossover. He's going to go to the inside on the 83. Nothing LaPrade can do. Here comes Zach in the 4. First time today we're seeing Zach Buchanan taking a charge to the front. And new leader, the number 4 machine of Zach Buchanan, the Budweiser Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. So LaPrade now is in the hunter spot, if you will. Zach Buchanan will be the hunted. And he'd love to see Dylan Poteet make a move on that 83, so that way he has his buddy partner right behind him that he's been using all day for drafting. Whoa, Trek Togger blinked right in front of Daniel Day. How about Daniel Day? Nice comeback here, up in the 5th position now after he spun coming to pit road that last time around. Or 2 times around, probably. John Garnes lost a lot of positions. He's dropped back now behind Joshua Collard, back in the 7th position. And now here comes Dylan Poteet. Well, he was trying to get the outside line going. Trek Togger and Joshua Collard were willing to go up there with him, and then Poteet decided to stay down the inside line. Whoa, Collard! Crossing over back to the inside line. Garnes didn't realize that was going to happen. He had to go down to the apron in order to not turn the 43. Still green flag racing though, and here comes Don LaPrade. This time he'll do the crossover move into 1. Move Don LaPrade to the lead, and I think Buchanan may have gotten the wall. Whoa, Buchanan! Really loose, and now Daniel Day's going to go up try and help. No. Poteet. Boy, these guys want to use that outside line, but nobody seems willing to do it right now. LaPrade the leader, Poteet 2nd, Daniel Day in 3rd. Joshua Collard there in the 4th position, and Trek Togger in a hornet's nest back there in 5th. He's got John Garnes and Zach Buchanan right behind him. Look at Corey! Look at Corey Williams in the 73, side by side with Seth Cole back there. That is for the 8th position. Corey Williams apparently timed the restart well enough that he's been able to stay in this lead pack. And he's got Luis Hernandez drafting him. Oh, they're getting swirly up here from 2nd on back. Poteet, whoa, throws a block on Collard. Collard, crossover move. Man, that car was extremely loose. I don't know how he saved it. And also got to the inside of Dylan Poteet at the same time. Nice move there by Joshua Collard. What a save and what a move. And he's got Trek Togger drafting him, but it's 2 cars against 4 cars on the outside line. Poteet, Buchanan, Daniel Day, and Corey Williams. Collard gets the apron again. Comes right up in front of Togger. Togger trying to go to the middle to get around the 43. Oh, they're starting to get racy now. Ooh, Collard again goes to the apron, and I think, whoa, Collard, yikes. They're starting to go around him on the outside. Collard may actually be trying to drop back here because his car is extremely loose, and he is going to let them go. Collard now going to try and pick up the tail end draft off of Seth Cole. Is up front, Don LaPrade watching all heck break behind him. Zach Buchanan with Daniel Day on the inside. Dylan Poteet with Corey Williams on the outside. Corey Williams, no 3rd gear, but he's in the top 5. Trek Togger ended up having to park for a minute and let everybody go by and start at the rear end of the field 2 cautions ago. He's up here in the top 5 now. And how about Luis Hernandez? Got involved in, I believe, 3 incidents during the course of this race. He's still up here in the top 10. And Dylan Poteet back there flipped his car over in turn 1. He's still up here in this lead pack. 8 to go at the line. Here comes Zach trying the inside line this time with Daniel Day, and he's going to get there. Zach Buchanan to the lead. Whoa, Garnes got loose, almost up into Trek Togger. Nice save by the 56. Right now, the lead pack, I believe, has 8 cars in it. Nope, strike that, 9 cars in it. Buchanan, Daniel Day, John Garnes, Dunn LaPrade, Trek Togger, Dylan Poteet, Corey Williams, Luis Hernandez, and Seth Cole. All 8 of these guys up here, they're all squirrely, they're all loose, but we're still green flag racing. And right now, Zach Buchanan is the leader. Daniel Day right behind him. I would say with the exception of Zach Buchanan, John Garnes, and Dunn LaPrade, every one of these drivers up here in this lead pack have encountered some kind of problems here during the course of this day, and they are still here. So you'd have to think that the 456 and 83 would be the favorites in this thing, since they've really not had anything happen to them. But you never know. John Garnes trying to get an outside line going. Is anybody going to go up there? Corey's going to go up there and help him. Luis Hernandez looks like he's going to try and do the same. Look at Dylan Poteet shoving the back bumper of that 60 car of Trek Togger. Togger got a little loose through that corner, carried a little too much speed maybe. But they're starting to catch up here to the top 3 again. Single file between the top 3, actually single file all the way back here between these top 8, top 9 actually. Is anyone going to try and make a move? 6 laps to go here at Daytona. Single file between the top 9 drivers all right now in the lead pack. Here's Daniel Day. He'll move to the high side. Will anyone go with him? Dunn LaPrade says no. Togger says no. Poteet says no. Corey Williams says no. Looks like everyone's going to freight train the 82. And now Zach Buchanan is left without his drafting partner. He was working with Daniel Day quite a bit here, and now he's got Dunn LaPrade on his back bumper. LaPrade looking to the high side. Whoa, he's going to get alongside of him. Yes, he is. Now, where's Trek Togger going to go? Is he going to help the 4 or is he going to help the 83? Looks like he's going to go low and help the 4. Well, as soon as I say that, he made a little move to the high side. Oh, contact there between Buchanan and LaPrade. Well, the inside line's going to have the advantage, at least for now. Here comes Togger, though. He looks high, now he looks low. He can't decide where he wants to go, and LaPrade somehow squeezes his car between the 4 and the 60. And now here he comes, crossover move to the inside, contact with the 4. Here comes LaPrade, forcing his way to the inside. What a power move by Dunn LaPrade. What looked like he was going to get caught on the outside line of freight train, somehow squeezed himself in front of Trek Togger, then made the move to the inside of Zach Buchanan and moved Dunn LaPrade back to the lead. Togger to second, Buchanan, oh look who he's found. He's found Dylan Poteet, the guy he's been working with this whole race. They're back together. John Garnes still trying to get that outside line working along with Luis Hernandez. Daniel Day is now falling back. He's got Corey Williams helping him. Seth Cole just ahead. And it's the 83 leading the way, but look who's back. It's Zach Buchanan, and look who he's brought to the party, Dylan Poteet. Will these two try and work against the 83? Wait a minute. Trek Togger gets stuck in the middle there. Careful, Trek. He's in the proverbial sucker hole and no friends. They're keeping it together, though. We are going to have 3 to go at the line. You're looking at the drivers that may settle this thing out unless we go into a green, white, checkered, or a one-lap shootout. LaPrade, Buchanan, Poteet, Garnes, and Cole. That's the top 5. As Trek Togger gets kicked to the high side, he'll fall to the tail end of this line. Single file amongst these drivers right now. Now there's Corey Williams. He's going to make the move to the high side and try and get a high line going. Is anybody going to go with him? There's the slower car of Stephen Polar III, pulls off the racetrack so these drivers can go on by. He will not be a factor in this win, so he's letting these guys race it out for the checkers without causing any incident. Still single file amongst the top 9. It will be 2 to go when they hit the stripe. LaPrade the leader, Buchanan in second. Third place Poteet, fourth is John Garnes, then Seth Cole. Then it's Daniel Day, Corey Williams, Luis Hernandez, and Trek Togger. Those drivers will settle it out. Buchanan makes a move high. Poteet looked like he was willing to go with him. They don't get the momentum, though. LaPrade still the leader into 1. Garnes takes a peek to the inside of Dylan Poteet. Oh, this is going to get good. This is going to get really good. Nobody willing to make a move just yet. They're still single file. Will someone step out of line here heading into 3? Garnes takes a peek. Poteet takes a peek. Here comes Garnes. Poteet throws a block. Here comes Buchanan. Did he get to the inside? No! LaPrade just barely threw the block. That was close. The 4 nearly turned the 83. Coming out of 4, white flag will be displayed this time. Right now, it's 9 cars to settle it out. Can LaPrade hold him off for one more lap? White flag in the air. 1 to go. Buchanan's got to make some kind of a move. Wherever he goes, you got to think Poteet will go with him. Oh, Zach's going up high, but Poteet didn't go with him. Contact! The 4's around. Buchanan has spun it. Zach Buchanan and the 4 is spun around. Looks like everybody got by him, but Dun LaPrade is still the leader, and he does not have Buchanan behind him anymore. Buchanan has spun it around in turn 1 after some contact with Dylan Poteet. Now Poteet's working with John Garnes on the inside line. Here comes Seth Cole with Daniel Day in 4th and 5th. Here they come out of turn 4 for the final time. Seth Cole gets spun by Daniel Day, but he saves it. Meanwhile, Dylan Poteet looking high on Dun LaPrade. Here he goes, crossover move. LaPrade blocks. Dun LaPrade wins the first race of the TNR Icebreakers Online Series here today at Daytona. Man, what a finish as Trek Togger wrecks at the start-finish line. Oh man, there goes Daniel Day taking out Dylan Poteet, but Dun LaPrade, what a win for him. Man, he had to do some mirror driving there at the end of this race. Luis Hernandez pulls up alongside. He's giving him his congratulations for winning this thing. Man, did Dun LaPrade earn this win. Unbelievable finish. Zach Buchanan gets turned in turn 1, single car incident. Seth Cole gets turned in turn 4, single car incident, but he hangs on to it. And LaPrade holds off the duo of Poteet and Garnes to pick up the win here to start off the season. How about that? Unbelievable race. From start to finish. Wow. That's all you can say. Wow. Couldn't have asked for a better race to start off the season. As we take a look now at your official finishing results. There they are. Dun LaPrade with a win. Poteet comes up so close, but second place for him. John Garnes in 3rd. Daniel Day 4th. And look at Corey Williams. No 3rd gear, but he'll get a 5th place finish today. Trek Togger in 6th. 7th place, Luis Hernandez. He was involved in so many cautions today. Seth Cole, even though he ended up getting spun, he survives to finish in 8th. Zach Buchanan gets spun around turn 1, but he'll finish with a top 10 in 9th. And how about Joshua Collard? He lost the draft after he got loose that one time and let everybody on by, but he is going to salvage a top 10 finish here today. Then you got Austin LaPlante. He was involved in so many wrecks today. He'll get 11th. 12th, Jessica Shelton. John Cittadino finishes 13th. Ogo in 14th. Anthony McCurry was out of the race in 15th. Also out of the race were the cars of Stephen Pollard III in 16th. 17th was Dylan Schwalenberg, and Danny Wells finishes in 18th position. Wow, what a race. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first race of the TNR Icebreakers Online Series. Next week, these drivers will be heading to Rockingham, so be sure to tune in for that race. Be sure to check out the official TNR Icebreakers Online Series website. The link to that is in the description, or if you want to go to it another way, it is on the NNSCRA YouTube channel page. Also, it was at the very beginning of this race on the banner on the left side of your screen. So be sure to check that out, and also be sure to check out TNR, Total Nonstop Racing's official webpage. Link to their webpage will be in the description as well. Also want to thank the guys of TNR for letting us use both their server and their TeamSpeak for this series. Looking forward to a great season, and couldn't have asked for a better way to start off the season than with this race. So, hope you guys enjoyed this race, and we will see you guys for race number 2 next week, as you've been watching the TNR Icebreaker Online Series here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel.